mentioned your two daughters, and as far as I read, they're not Toastmasters. How is it possible?
What? As I told that my keynote in Athens, I got married in 1988. And I joined Toastmasters in 1989 because I wanted an escape route. And then eventually we had two daughters, and then from 5 years of age, they have been to more Toastmasters events than many Toastmaster members have been. And they have been to more conferences than many district officers do. And they know everything about Toastmasters. And I'm happy that they are not yet Toastmasters, but they will join Toastmasters because they are waiting for me to quit my business. Because what my daughter says is that we are unable to go and tell I'm Mahisha or Avisha, as in their names, because the moment we tell your surname, it's a problem. So that is why. And I'm happy, because, but I struggle at home, like many of you do. I have a problem. One is an engineer cum lawyer, so if I talk too much, he will file lawsuit. And the other one is a dentist. If I talk too much, he'll remove my tooth. But I must tell you that the impact that we create because of Toastmasters in our homes, on our children, is priceless, not measurable. It is priceless. If I saw someone bringing a 5-year-old kid to the convention, to the district conference, that's it. So that's the age that they grasp a lot, they absorb a lot in that process. Because the question was asked, I can tell you that one of my daughters who went into, because of all these Toastmaster skills that she has learned from home, seeing all the activities that happens at home, not only from me but for all the other members who walk in and out of the house. She went in for an interview with 960 candidates back home. And these 960 candidates was dropped to 500, 400, 330, and then 5 and the last one. And she got selected as the UN Youth Representative for Sri Lanka to speak at the 29th UN General Assembly. Right? So that's the kind of impact that we can create inside our homes. So I'm happy that they've got more out of Toastmasters than many of our members. So they will join Toastmasters, no doubt.
We have no other solution this time. Yes, but it seems like a really inspirational family and the Toastmasters atmosphere inside the house. So thank you for your answer. And now a question asked by two of our members of the Polish community it's asked by Michał and Piotr. And the question is, how can clubs avoid losing so many members? And what can people in the board do to keep people motivated and committed?
Very good question. I'm sure Jacek should answer that question, not me, for the discussion that we had last evening, which I want him to do after the interview. But how many of you in this audience, I know you're passionate Toastmasters, and some of you there's someone who has come here joining Toastmasters tomorrow, the Leaders Club, and another person who joined Toastmasters 2 weeks ago, already here. But all those other experienced Toastmasters, and some of you who have been in the program even a couple of months and realized the power of Toastmasters within yourself, how many of you want to make an impact in someone else's life? Nearly, Jacek? I'm sure, can you raise your hand?
Yeah.
Nearly the entire hall. Right? And our question is, how can you retain members? Now, if this hall has, say, 100 people, and if 95 hands went up here, there are those Toastmasters in all your clubs which will have the same desire. Am I right? Almost the same desire. So here the question is how to retain our members. Two things we have to do to ensure. One, are your clubs giving more than 3 speeches, 3 evaluations and 3 table topics? Are you running, with your speeches, are you running a program for increasing the power of ideas, which is available in the Toastmasters library? Power of thinking, power of listening, power of negotiation skills. Are you creating some modules that is interesting to your members if it is in corporate clubs? What is that relevance to your club? So those are things that will retain. Two, the most important thing is one, yes, we are a selfish organization as Srinidhi told us, but it is inevitable but to give others once we have absorbed the value of Toastmasters. Is your club making that opportunity or providing that opportunity for you also to give back to the society and community? If someone is willing to give or has the opportunity to give and take, first give and take after realizing the value, that member is for life. If you don't provide an opportunity to give, that member probably, if your club is not interesting, will leave. So for retention, you have to create give and take philosophy and then run programs inside your club which is more than, when did you run a courtroom meeting? When did you run a debate competition? When did you run a World Champions workshop or some workshop that will interest the members? So all these things will retain our members. My club or many clubs over there, our retention rate is 85% or more. So there is no secret in this. If we give value and if we show them how to give back, people want to stay.
Seems like hard work.
That's what the audience told. I didn't tell.
That's true. And didn't you, like Staszek was wondering, Rafał Staszek, was wondering if you yourself have any ups and downs from time to time, and are you like tired or bored with the whole organization? Even, you know, do you have worse days?
Alicia, you were not in Athens, right? You were in Athens? No.
No, unfortunately not.
So she's asking me, the question is whether I am tired. So in one of my education sessions, Federico was tired, who came to Athens just for the conference, was tired, much more tired than me, who is traveling for the last 40 days. So and there was a girl called Vanessa, whom I went to and asked her if I call her whether she will come up on stage. She said, I am tired, don't call me. Right? So, but I got both of them on stage and proved how not to be tired. So I am not tired at all. If you tell me I can do another workshop and keep all of you here even till 12 o'clock midnight today. I have a workshop if you want to do, but I want you to go home.
But we want more, so.
Right? You want more?
Yeah, it would be a pity to miss out on the opportunity.
Yeah, I can make you not leave this room at all. I can give you tips how not to be tired even at 12 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Because when I was running for second vice president, my wife used to, or children used to, in the dream, hear the voice of Barlaj, the candidate for second vice president, calling from Sri Lanka. Even when I'm not there at home, they used to hear that. So, in leadership, if you have some, you learn some techniques, you don't need to be tired. But one thing, are you truly living your passion? Are you making a difference? Only then you will not be tired.
I think we'll be left with this question and have to answer at home, everyone inside. Okay, another question we have. Actually, this is a question from me. I was wondering because you were a chair during the World Championships in public speaking, and the question is, why are there so few participants from Europe? What do you think, in your opinion, in the finals? I mean,
in the finals, my dream is that a European wins the finals.
Would be nice.
And that's not far away when Brian already won from England, but I want someone to win from all the other 28 countries which participated at the conference, because you have abundant talent. There is no question about it. From what I have seen here and what I have seen in Athens, and the quality of your speeches in the semi-finals and the finals of your conference. But more important thing is that you need to create one champion. You need to create 100 champions and create that in your environment so that you can give more and more opportunities for champions to evolve. Because I mentored one of the mentees who became the world champion, and in the process of mentoring him, I also mentored so many other clubs and members to run speech competitions, because you must have a very competitive stage in your starting from your club, area, division and district. Starting from your club. If you come to my club, or I have been to clubs in some parts of the country, some parts of the world, where there is 23 international speech contestant participants. Average 17. In India, if you go, the whole club will be, like even the president will be in the contest. So that is, creating that platform is what will bring a champion in the future. Just create that. If you are not in leadership, if you are a district officer, you cannot compete. But even as a club officer, you can compete. So just make competition also a way of life, so that you can create champions and bring that championship trophy back here to you. That is why I encourage always to step outside the club and go to division conferences, national conferences. I hear that you have a national conference, and to the district conference. And I always tell people and tell myself that if you can bring one golden nugget from every meeting you go, every convention, every conference you go, and if that can be applied in your life, you have done great. And there are conventions that you go and you probably bring a book worth knowledge. But what is few things that you can apply? That's what I look for when I go to conventions. That's my experience.
So we should think big.
Yes.
If you would have a billboard and say a billboard like outside advertisement, let's say, and would like to say something to the world, so what it would be and why?
So, Toastmasters is where leaders are made is our tagline. But if I have a message to the world, I will say Toastmasters changes lives every single day. And why? Because of all the miscommunications, misunderstanding and everything that we see in leadership around the world, Toastmasters, that is our sickness. You agree? Most of the leaders around the world, both in profit and non-profit world, and in especially people who are leading the countries and leading organizations, have this problem of not taking control of their own positions, and they're obsessed over their positions. So I would say that it's not about the positions that we hold. And it is about being humble, being duty conscious, being there is a purpose over the position. So that is why I would like to say that we have cure for the sickness that this world of leadership is having. So that is why I say Toastmasters change lives every day. Join Toastmasters, become the leader you're meant to be, than the leader that you are. It's my message to the world. And because we can prove that we can create leaders.
Sir, you mentioned that Toastmaster has helped you in your private life. Are there any particular skills that you could refer to that have improved thanks to being a Toastmaster and eventually achieving your position?
I'm an entrepreneur, right? I run a company which is 68 years old now. But don't look at me like that, I'm not 68. Long way to go for that. But I helped diversify the company in 1995 and went into some business which is engineering lines. And because of my Toastmasters involvement, I was a very hard boss. Family concern, and a conventional family. My father was a very strong businessman, and that's why I inherited the business, and I inherited some of those traditional practices. And I was a very hard boss until I realized that this is not the way to go, because we used to lose staff members as any company would lose, and in a private entrepreneurial company. But when I became a friend from a boss, and when I became an individual, a leader from a boss, the result of which I can't do all these things otherwise, because some of us belong to one unique family in Toastmasters called Crazy Toastmasters. We don't know what else to do but to help people. So how to help? When I go back after 50 days, I am sure that my company will be there to manage. And also, for the last 9 years, as I told a little while ago at Royal Scotland Bank, is that I have not lost a staff member for any obvious reasons because of that. What more? Because they bring my bread and butter. They feed me. And what more do I want from Toastmasters to help my professional life? There is so many things. My daughter spoke at the United Nations. Can you put a price to that? So these are things that Toastmasters will give. If it has given me, it will give you. Just be persistent and patient. You will realize everything that I realized. Thank you.
Thank you.